And welcome back to Houston Newsmakers. As we head into Thanksgiving week, it's a reminder that it's holiday time, a uniquely American holiday when families come together to give thanks for the previous year, which hopefully was a good one. A time to sit down to a good meal and most often overeat just a tad. And in many parts of the country, when families come together, it's time for football. Watching football, of course, but also playing football. My guests today are experts in the playing football category. How can I call them experts? Take a look. This is a group of boys who in 1960 came out to Riley Elementary School to play a game of football on Thanksgiving Day. They had fun, no doubt. Some of them may have cheated a little bit, perhaps lied a little bit about the outcome, maybe. The first year, maybe the second year, and third year, but can you imagine how things had changed by the time they'd done this 49 years? They did it one more time in 2009 to make it 50 consecutive years, and now this week, 60 years after that first game, we're still talking about it. Ben Parrott and Brian Renfro were there on that Thanksgiving Day in 1960. Here in the flesh this morning to talk about that amazing tradition they took part in for 50 years. They've now written a book about it. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning to you, Cameron. Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. This kind of was in my wheelhouse of my growing up. Now you've written this book, The Riley Thanksgiving Invitational Story. First of all, did you ever imagine that this could have continued for as many years as it did?
At a certain point. In other words, when we were playing in junior high and in high school, we just did it. But once we got involved into the invitation aspect of it, then we kind of felt like it was gonna go a long time.
Brian, were you all good athletes at some point?
We thought we were. This game, this Thanksgiving morning game, we played continually. We played all day Friday, all day Saturday, Sunday afternoon. But Thanksgiving morning was a special game. Just you were by invitation only. If you were an elite player, you could play in the Thanksgiving morning game.
So it was invitation only the whole time?
Yes.
But there's some other people along the way that may have...
Well, I'm sorry. In 1960, there were so many kids. There were 20 on a team. But again, for the Thanksgiving morning game, it was just a smaller group of people.
This whole process came about just kind of by happenstance. Is that how it happened?
Well, I think that as Brian was saying, back in the late 50s and early 60s, there were kids playing football on every field possible. And so the field that we happened to be at, again, there were many, many kids, and really Brian driving force, we started eliminating some of these players and basically saying, sorry, go start your own game. This is our game. And so that's what evolved into eventually just being this core group of 22. Now, over the years, we probably had 50 different players that played early on, and we lost some, but eventually it was 22 guys that came together on Thanksgiving to play this game.
And Brian, you were named commissioner at some point. How did that come about?
Self-proclaimed.
Took control, did you?
When I first sent out invitations, I was too humble. And so I called myself the chairman of the invitation committee, as if there was a committee. It was always just me. But at some point in the game, through the history, I decided, no, I need to name myself commissioner and really take charge of this thing.
Talk about what this has done, how this group of friends, how it's evolved through the years, and how it may have impacted your adult lives as you've grown.
The 22 players, we were all friends, but we had cliques. In other words, Brian and I were very close along with a couple of other players. And then there was another part of that group that they were very, very close together. The game brought that group together. And the friendship was, once again, I may not have seen these guys for a year, especially after we all left for college and went on with our lives and growing up in our adulthood. But once we got on the field, it was like it was last year. And we're here together again. And it's like we hadn't been gone for a year of each other.
And you made it back for that year? Everybody tried to come back that day?
Yes. Yes. As you might remember, when you went off to college, high school things where you don't talk about high school, but I wanted to make sure that all of my friends knew, yes, we're coming back into town. Yes, we're going to play this football game, and I want to see you. So please, you're invited to come and play.
Well, I've read many big portions of the book, and I just find it fascinating because you do talk about so many things that were a part of your lives and everyone's lives around you. But inevitably with that, as you grow and you get older, you lose people along the way. So this big group of folk you had, you've lost some along the way. How has that impacted you as a group and individually?
Well, by God's grace, we were able to make it all the way the 50 years. This group of 22, we made it 50 years, but it's just only been in the last 10 years that we've lost now 3 of their original players.
We did lose a player that probably would have been part of this core group in '68. He was on his motorcycle and the truck ran over him. So we lost someone that was a part of this group early, but from want on, we made it through the 50 years.
And you've lost somebody just recently as well.
We have. I want to kind of go back a little bit. The first person we lost after we quit playing was Jerry Harris, and he died of leukemia, and he was one of our California guys. And then 2 years ago, Brian and I's best buddies, when we were in elementary school, we called ourselves the 3 Bs. And we lost Bobby to a strong battle against cancer. And then just 2 weeks ago, we got notification that one of our California guys who was into that California northern community, that he just loved the outdoors. Well, he went out for a walk one Sunday in one of his favorite parks, and he never came back. And so 4 days later, they found him in a creek. And as I say, John probably would have said, if I'm going to die, I want to die right here.
Well, I noticed that in your digital book I saw here is a reunion coming up. It says, 10 years ago, our game mercifully took a knee, but not our friendship or heritage. A recent book celebrates what we've accomplished together, an amazing 50-year chronicle of life. Celebrated. Enough has been written. Now it's time to see face-to-face on our 60th anniversary. So that's coming up right around the corner, right?
It's coming up, and it's we're going to have a ceremony at Riley. And I was telling Brian, because he didn't know it, this invitation you see there just went out to the players.
Right.
And it's all his idea. In fact, it was a surprise to me. He didn't tell me anything about it. And all of a sudden, I got it in the mail.
Well, you're the commissioner, so you do what you want.
Yeah, I wanted Brent to be as surprised as everybody else. They go, oh, what is this? Another Riley invitation?
Well, this is all about Thanksgiving. We're going to talk more about this. We'll have more with Brian Renfro and Brent Parrott after the break.